Hey guys, welcome to Nomad on Fire. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how BTCI has changed my life, how it's changed my retirement and my fire lifestyle and enabled me to become the Nomad on Fire. So a little background, if you guys watch any of my other videos, you'll know that I'm a die-hard Bitcoin guy. I started off buying Bitcoin in I think 2018, and I would put just about every penny I had into Bitcoin. Yes, I was in the stock market at that time. I was heavy into ExxonMobil because it paid a 3% dividend and it was very reliable, and this and that, and realty income and some other dividend things, but I really wasn't making any kind of money with them. I knew that it was a slow process. Dividend investing is a very, very slow process, unless you just got a large amount of money. But anyway, so I started just dabbling in Bitcoin, buying it as I could, and I would short it quite a bit. And my version of shorting it was I would, when it got a big pop up, I would sell it and take the cash, and then when it dropped back down, I would buy more Bitcoin. So that's how I was increasing my stack of Bitcoin, because back in those days it was very, very volatile, and it was pretty, I'm not going to say easy to do, but if I could do it, anybody could do it. Let's just put it that way. I don't remember the year that Celsius came out. I was intrigued with it because it paid interest on your Bitcoin, and there was nothing on the market at that time that would pay interest on your Bitcoin. I put a little bit in it, it paid out, I was in it, and I kept putting a little bit more I put in it, and over like a year and a half maybe, I had 0.6 of a Bitcoin in it. That's quite a bit. That's really quite a bit. And I was just letting it build. I was a sucker. Let's just put it that way. I was dumb and I was a sucker. All I could see was getting more Bitcoin, and that was my whole goal at that point, was to obtain more Bitcoin. I didn't put all of my Bitcoin into it. Like I said, I only put 0.6 of a Bitcoin in it, which in today's value is what, $65,000, something like that. So I didn't put everything that I had as far as Bitcoin into it, but and you guys know the story. It went belly up, and all kinds of fraud and everything just happened, and I lost 0.6 of a Bitcoin. I have since then got probably 1/10 of a Bitcoin back in it, so I'm still down a half a Bitcoin. I'm supposed to be getting a third distribution from the settlement sometime soon. I don't know when. I'm really not counting on it. But anyway, so that's kind of my story with Bitcoin. I would just buy and try to accumulate as much as I would. And while Bitcoin is great, it helps my bottom line, it didn't really help my lifestyle. Yes, it could have, if I had done what everybody else did and just sold it and went and bought whatever I wanted, but I knew this was the future. I knew Bitcoin was the future, and I actually want to leave something for my kids. So I never sold it. I did once when I was buying a house. I sold a little bit, and I regretted it ever since, because I sold it at $20,000, and now it's over $100,000 now. So I could have paid off that house with the small amount of Bitcoin that I sold. I mean, to buy it. Anyway, I'm not going to go down that road, but I will never sell my Bitcoin. I have taken out a small loan against it just to try that, and that worked out pretty well. I would consider doing that in the future, but I was always on edge. I was always on edge when, I had a small loan out on it, on just a tenth of a Bitcoin at that time. And I was always on edge because Bitcoin was up to $100,000, and then back when, what was it, March, it dropped to like $70,000, $80,000. I don't remember. And I was always on edge, and I kept checking my LTV, my LTV levels and stuff like that, and making sure that it was in line, or I wouldn't lose that Bitcoin. And it was. I mean, it wasn't a large amount of money. It was only like $5,000 that I took out on it. But it was enough. Bitcoin means so much to me that I didn't even want to lose that. So I went ahead and paid it off, even just to ease my mind. So I would do it again if I absolutely had to, but it's not something that I would look forward to doing again. So last year, this coming Friday, BTCI came out on October 17th of 2024. So this coming Friday, today is Wednesday the 15th, and this coming Friday, BTCI will be 1 year old. So let me tell you my story with BTCI. Last year when it came out, I was overseas. I was in Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, and I was actually on my way back from overseas, I believe. I only spent like 2 months overseas, and I get back and I learn about BTCI because I was in Neos's QQQI and SPY-I. So I kind of kept track of Neos a little bit, and then I found out that they'd come out with this BTCI. So I bought just a little bit of it and had it in my Roth IRA. I had a bunch of IBIT in my Roth IRA at that time. I'm not a huge fan of owning IBIT or FBTC or any of the other straight Bitcoin ETFs, because unless it's in like a retirement account, because why own IBIT or FBTC or anything like that in a regular account when you can own the real thing and have it offline and secure? I'm just not a fan of the IBIT or FBTC or anything like that. I understand it does have its purpose. It does have, the only purpose to me is to have it in a retirement account. So with that said, I had dabbled in the BTCI for a few months. I had already grown to trust Neos somewhat as far as covered call ETFs strategy goes. Because I had already been in their other programs for a few years, or for at least a year at that point. So what I did is I just sold all my IBIT in my Roth IRA, in my I've got a Roth IRA, a regular IRA, and a solo 401k, or self-employed 401k, I guess is what they call it. And so I sold all my IBIT in all of those accounts and put it into BTCI. Well, that was probably January, February, and I just kept, I got addicted to that dividend. And so I didn't have any BTCI or IBIT in my personal FIRE accounts, what I call it. So I just started putting everything that I had that I was investing into that account into BTCI. And I've grown that amount up quite a bit. And it has totally changed my life because I'm semi-retired. If you don't know, my plan for now is I live in the United States in the summertime, and I have a business and I work that business, and I put most of that money into my fire account and my retirement accounts also. And then I am building that up, and then I'm going to move over or go overseas. I'm going to Vietnam in just actually 1 week from today. I'm going to Vietnam for 3 months, and then down to Bali. And anyway, I'm going to stay overseas for 6 months, and that's pretty much all thanks to BTCI, because while I have a lot of Bitcoin, that's my security blanket. That's my security blanket. That's what I'm leaving to my kids. That's my bottom line. Yes, if I absolutely have to, I would spend it, but that's the only time I would actually ever spend it. Where with BTCI, I'm getting paid cash every week, and it's still keeping up with the Bitcoin price. So I'm getting paid cash every week, and I don't have a problem spending that cash. So what I do is the 6 months that I'm here in the United States, I drip it and just keep building it up, and then I keep adding to it, and it builds up even faster. But when I'm overseas, I turn drip off, and then it goes into my account, and I can withdraw it if I need it. If I do need it, it's there. If I don't need it, I put it back into BTCI. So it's really changed my life because I can actually spend the money now and not feel bad. Yes, I look at everything I buy as, okay, so say I went to buy a motorcycle, which I just sold my Harley, so I wouldn't do that. But say I was going to go buy a motorcycle for $5,000. Well, how many shares of BTCI is that going to cost me? Or how many months worth of distribution is that going to cost me? So I judge everything I buy by that amount now, and it makes me look at the world in a total different view. Yes, I was on the Bitcoin standard before, and I was doing similar things to it, but I never looked at it as how much would that cost me, because I wasn't going to sell it. With BTCI, I don't have to sell it. I just have to wait till the 24th, 25th, right in there. That's usually the third week in the month that it pays out its distribution. And I've got quite a bit of money into it already. I put just about every penny I made this summer into it that I didn't live on, and I've got my living expenses down to a T. I mean, I know exactly how much money I'm going to spend every month, unless something happens. So BTCI has changed my life. Now I feel comfortable going overseas for 6 months at a time. And I'm going to do that for a few years until I build up a huge egg of BTCI, and then I have a huge amount of monthly income. Now, yes, I am adding in some YBTC because it does pay out a higher distribution, but it doesn't keep up with the growth of Bitcoin. But I'm going to dabble with that YBTC a little bit, and I'm only going to put the maximum I said I would allow myself to put in it is 25%. So if I have $100,000 in BTCI, the max I could ever put into YBTC was $25,000. Right now, I'm not even at 1%. I own a little bit of YBTC, and it's paying its dividends out pretty good, but it's really not getting the growth that BTCI does. So that is basically how I've totally changing my life with BTCI. I'm actually getting monthly income off of Bitcoin, where before you couldn't do that. Now, supposedly there are products coming out down the road that you can put your straight Bitcoin into it and get a distribution or a dividend. I know Kraken has got a deal out right now. You can put it on their exchange, but I don't like putting my real Bitcoin on anybody's exchange, just because of the Celsius ordeal. And it's only paying out like 1%, so it's really not worth it. To me, 1% is not worth it. That's on $100,000, that's $1,000 a year. That's not worth the risk. Now, I've heard that BlackRock is coming out with a covered call ETF in the future on the futures market, and it's going to have real Bitcoin in it instead of I believe BTCI holds HODL, the ETF HODL, but BlackRock is supposed to come out with one that holds real Bitcoin in it, so you can put real Bitcoin in it. Theoretically, it's not I'm not positive on that yet because it actually hasn't come out, but from what I know, you can put real Bitcoin into it, and then they sell futures contracts on it, and it's supposed to pay out, I don't know, I've heard 9-10%, so that would be interesting when it comes out. I'll have to look into that, but for now, BTCI is by far my favorite high yielding ETF, and it has totally transformed my life. Now, whether it will do that for you, I don't know. You need to sit down and figure out how much monthly income you have in it, and I've done other videos in the past about BTCI and how many shares and how much money you need to put in there to make X amount of money. So go back and take a look at that video and set yourself goals off of that video, off of, you need $50 a month extra to pay your phone bill. You need $100 a month extra to pay your utility bill or whatever. Start with that video and get yourself set up with BTCI if it's something you like. This is not financial advice by any means, but start with that video and get yourself set up to paying a monthly bill with it at a time, and just keep building up, and you'll see how it'll transform your life as well. Like I said, not financial advice. This is, if you can't tell, I'm really into BTCI, and I'm dabbling with YBTC, and I feel a little bit guilty about it, but at the same time, BTCI is paying out a 26-28% dividend distribution. YBTC is paying out a 45, 46, 48% distribution. Although it doesn't keep up with it, but okay, I'm not going to get it back into that. I like the extra monthly income. And especially going overseas for 6 months at a time, I really would like to have the extra income. But, oh, we're getting some waves coming in here. Nice. I didn't see a boat go by. But anyway, that's all I've got for you now. Sorry I rambled on and on and on. I do that when I am passionate about something, and I really like the BTCI ETF. Anyway, oh, one last thing. I'm leaving on the 22nd for Vietnam. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so you can come along with me on that. That's going to be a beautiful, beautiful trip. I'm going into Saigon, or I'm going into Hanoi first, and eventually I'm going to get on a train and go all the way from Hanoi to Saigon or Ho Chi Minh, but I'm going to stop at every city along the way and check out all the different cities and so forth. Check out everything there is to do, see everything as far as Vietnam. I'm hoping I can get through that in the 90 days that I've got my visa for there. But anyway, that's the plan for Vietnam. And again, I don't think I would be able to do this without selling my Bitcoin if BTCI hadn't been out. Now I don't have to sell my Bitcoin. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Talk to you later. Bye.